Hello, today is October 20th, 2024, and a couple of questions that I came across that I wanted to address that are kind of common questions that people have when they're getting involved in their yoga practice. First one, most bang for your buck. I lift weights and I ride my bike regularly. I do enjoy yoga, but I get lazy. If I was to limit yoga to 3 to 5 stretches that I can do consistently, can you recommend me the most bang for your buck yoga stretches? It's a good question because often our time is so limited in the opportunity to spend just focusing on our yoga practice. So I think sun salutations, because if we think about the different ways that the spine can move, we have flexion and extension. So extension is back bend, flexion is forward bend. We have lateral flexion, and we also have rotation. So lateral flexion is side bending, and rotation, like twisting poses. When we practice the sun salutations, it gives us an incredible opportunity to generate some heat in the body, to also get some strength going on, build some upper body strength. We do with the up dog and down dog, extension and flexion. And it's just a great way to be able to generate like some heat and get some like strength and some breathing, which is really important. The only things that the sun salutation don't address is rotation and lateral flexion. So then maybe after doing a few sun salutations, add like a side bend, like triangle pose, Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle. And or you can add in then maybe come down to the floor and do a seated twist. And that would give you like a pretty solid sort of spine opening experience that will make it possible to just have a short practice and feel pretty good. And another question, mind wanders during yoga. I have been doing yoga for 1.5 years now, and I've found that my mind typically wanders, and while I still follow what's going on, Apple Fitness, my mind is pulled in different directions and thoughts, either useless or random, or brief and short negative ones. I have to constantly bring my attention back to the present with some willpower. Is this normal? Great question. Yeah, it's very normal. I think like there's this idea in the Yoga Sutras where there's a word, yoga chitta vritti nirodha, yoga. So yoga, the definition of yoga, chitta, the mind stuff, vritti constantly revolves around, so the mind is always thinking. Nirodha. Nirodha, the definition of nirodha can go 2 different ways. One, like sometimes in Sanskrit the words have multiple meanings. And one of them that we hear quite often is nirodha is like cessation, meaning like the stopping of the mind. And another definition though that I think works really well is nirodha is like the controlling of the mind, the harnessing of the mind. So if we look at it from the harnessing perspective, then we actually are potentially feeling more success in our yoga practice because it's we can control it. So that way it's like, okay, the mind is always going to be thinking. Like that's just a big part of the experience of being a human, constantly thinking. And but the control of that, the directing of that toward a specific point of concentration, a drishti. The word drishti means a focal point. So I think if you take it from that angle, we often can feel a little more success because we're not looking at it from the stopping of the mind. The stopping really references like you don't think, and that's just very unrealistic. The mind's going to keep going. There's a little bit of reference in the word samadhi that if yoga practice is done over a long period of time, and then quote correctly, then the cessation of the mind might occur. Maybe your thoughts stop, but I think really to be realistic, and there's always going to be a little bit of thinking going on for sure. I like that definition because it takes the pressure off of this feeling that I the only way that I'm successful is if I stop the thoughts, and that's just like kind of unrealistic. But if anything, yeah, definitely yoga can make it where our thoughts might soften a little bit, where we're less critical of ourselves. You guys can see the development they're doing over here on the corner of where our center is, Native Yoga Center. It's doing this huge build, townhomes, crazy price. Anyway, the nature of reality, constant growth. Is it a good thing? It's a good question. I won't try to answer that one right now. Another question, this is a good one, this is important. Shirshasana, which is headstand. Hi everyone, does anyone have any advice for getting into headstand? I'm pretty sure my alignment is correct in headstand prep, and I can hold dolphin, but I really struggle to get my legs up without momentum. For example, a spotter or the wall. There seems to be some mechanical aspect that isn't clicking for me with using my core to lift my legs. Did anyone find any cues, prep exercises particularly helpful for lifting the leg piece? Yeah, so lifting up into headstand, there's a big part of it is hamstring flexibility. Because when you go into like the dolphin shape and you have your head on the ground, to be able to get your legs up in the air requires bringing the hips far enough over the head that you can lift up. So it's like a fulcrum, and that's where hamstrings really, that's going to be your main go-to exercise for being able to lift up into your headstand. So I recommend put a little extra emphasis on the hamstring piece, working on your hamstring flexibility in poses like Paschimottanasana, Weston tense forward bend, or Jani Shirshasana when you're sitting, head to knee pose, bending the knee, bringing the heel in close and folding over the leg. The lift up is, yeah, core engagement, a lot of strength in the back muscles. It's a big part of it. And really just that ability to lean the body weight forward and lift the hips up. So I have a couple of videos on my channel, tutorials on how to. Remember to hit the subscribe, little bell to be notified every time I do a tutorial. And you can watch some headstand tutorials on there, which can help. But all in all, I'd say really that hamstring piece is a huge part of it. And one more question, I really like this one because it's an important one, I think, in relation to yoga practice. It's just giving gratitude to my beloved yoga. My mom has been on a steady dementia decline since 2020. Lockdowns took her out. My wife of 36 years was recently diagnosed with schizophrenia. I'm using all of my vacation time to work through this rather than institutionalize her. No way. My 4 grown children all seem to be okay, gainfully employed, really good people. Amazing. I'm gonna get through this because, well, yoga. So happy I found this beautiful life practice. The hour every day that I get to, quote, your way back to down dog, end quote, and really focus on myself is beautiful. Namaste. Man, I can really relate with this one. My mom passed away from dementia, Alzheimer's as well. And she was a yogi. She came to the studio every single day and practiced with me. We've been here at Native Yoga Center 18 years, so it's been like 2 years that she passed. So she's coming here every day for like 16 years. And man, the yoga not only helped her through, I guess, that whole experience, but also myself and my family. And you're right. Yoga is an incredible boon to staying focused under immense challenge. And so I'm really glad that you brought this up, because I think that's one of the great benefits of the yoga practice, is just getting grounded, being able to have something to focus on, because there are a million and one things, as we noticed the question about, like, my mind is wandering, is that normal? And the fact that yes, it is really normal. And so there's so much challenge right now with like attention grabbing. There's so many people really just trying to grab our attention. And so with that being said, I think that that's another thing that I really just am so thankful for with yoga practice, and I've noticed has helped me so much in my life, is just having something consistent to do every day. And then, to be really honest, as a yoga teacher, to show up every day and have other people that are also thinking the same way, that community that gets formed through the process, is just incredibly comforting. So I really think that this question, this statement, is a really valid one. Man, thanks for the yoga. Thanks for the yoga. I had this idea the other day. I was just like walking around thinking, I have yoga to focus on. All right, that's it for today. Make sure you have a good one. Definitely take some time to give your loved ones a little squeeze, a little hug. Don't forget to breathe. Enjoy the wind, a little bit of sunshine. Namaste.